Hi, this is Trisha Shadden at Trisha Stamps. Thanks for joining me today. I have the May paper pumpkin box for 2022, and I'm just about to open this up, take a look at what's inside, and walk you through the projects. So this paper pumpkin kit is celebrating in color, and this is introducing the new in colors. So let's take a look and see what is inside. So we've got this stamp set, really cute. I love that big open happy, to celebrate your day, to have you in my life. You make me happy. Pretty little scripty you. Cute stamp set. I love stamp sets that I know I'll be able to use for other things, not just my paper pumpkin. So love that one. Okay, this comes with a basic gray Stampin' Spot. And here's a little teaser about next month's paper pumpkin, Pick of the Crop, which I watched the little intro video for demonstrators, and it's got a whole farmer's market theme, you know, fresh flowers, fresh fruit. I think that's going to be really cool. So, and then this is an introduction to our new in colors. So let's take a look. Here's our instructions. We've got our Tahitian tied paper that everything is wrapped up in. I'm going to pull our whole kit right on out. And let's take a look what we have inside. So it looks like this kit has 5 different designs, one card to feature each one of the new in colors, and 2 of each design. So a total of 10 cards in this kit, which is an awesome value, and 10 coordinating envelopes. So you can see all of the different colors here. You've got Parakeet Party, Starry Sky, Sweet Sorbet, Orchid Oasis, and Tahitian Tide with this pretty sort of ombre looking envelope liner. That's really pretty. So those are our 10 envelopes. And then let's see what our card elements look like under here. Looks like a couple of plain white card bases. Oh, pretty. Some Sweet Sorbet little card elements. It looks like this is the word you. That's maybe going to pop out from in there. A lot of gold foil sentiments. Love that. Pretty. Oh, I love the accents of gold foil in the kit. Really pretty. Some more white card bases, but these have like a little bit of a, I don't know, ripply edge on one side. These cute little things. Oh, I bet these are pockets. Ooh, I can't wait to see. But I have a feeling this is going to be like a little, because it's scored on 3 sides. Looks like that might be a little pocket. Might fit a gift card or something. Another one of those. Ooh, that's a pretty card base with like a banner and the splatters on the front. Lots of label shapes, like long banners. Pretty. Ooh. That's really cool. Big bright U in the gold foil. Parakeet Party ombre strips. Really pretty. Ooh, and I love this ombre. Tahitian Tide ombre banners. Love it. Okay, so I'm totally liking what I'm seeing. Also in the kit, you do get a pack of mini dimensionals, little pack there, and some of the coordinating matte dots in all of the in colors, and a little roll of Terran tape. So that's great. Yeah, awesome. So let's take a look at our instructions. and we will launch into our first card. So as always with every paper pumpkin kit, you get this instruction sheet, which shows you the completed projects, so you know what you're working towards. And then on this inner flap, it's going to show you the ingredients you need for each card design. So when you're going to put together card number 1, these are the pieces that you want to gather up. Hoping you can see this okay, but when you see the little open hexagon shape, that means you're going to be using dimensionals. When you see this little gray roll, that means you're going to be using the tear and tape. And then when you see the little colored dots, those represent your embellishments, the little matte dots. So you're just going to look for all these elements to start this project. So let's flip to the directions for card number 1. And this will have step-by-step directions for us. As always, before I get started, there is a ruler up one side, so if you ever have to measure or cut, you've got something handy to do that. And then on the back, you always have sort of contents of the kit, so you make sure that you have all of your elements, and then some other handy resources. They've got some cool alternate ideas, some links to instructional videos, and lots more information on Paper Pumpkin. It also tells you the coordinating colors, which of course for this one we know are our new in colors, but for other kits it's great because if you want to pull in other supplies or other inks, you've got the coordinating colors listed. So let's flip back to the instructions for card number 1, and let's pull out the pieces that we need for that one. So we need this big U. I'll pull our embellishments and our, let's see here, gather these up. I'm going to need my sweet sorbet colors for this card, which is of course at the bottom of my stack, probably because that came out first. So this one. So do I have everything? I've got my stamp set and my ink pad nearby. So I have this U panel, I have the pocket, and I have my embellishments and my adhesives. I need one little label, and I do need to stamp, so that's the one thing I need to stamp. So let's find my label sheet. It looks like I'm going to use the banner that has the flag on one end. This one right here. And then I will need my stamp set. So let's go back to our instructions. Sorry to be flipping around so much. So step 1 says to ink up Can Do Anything in our gray. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat to do my stamping. I just feel I get the best results. And then I'm going to find that stamp that says Can Do Anything. Now if this is your first Paper Pumpkin kit, it will come with the Paper Pumpkin block. I'm going to just use my ergonomic blocks. I just find that a little easier for me, so I'm going to use this, but you would, if this is your first kit, or if you're working with your block from your original kit, you would just be pulling out your Paper Pumpkin block. And then I'm just going to slice this here to open it. I just use the end of a scissors to open my little ink spot. Oops, if I can get it. There we go. And then it just opens like that. Of course, I also find it, if you happen to have the full-size ink pad, sometimes easier to work with, especially for demonstration purposes. So I'm just going to use my full-size ink pad, but all you would have to do is just ink this up and stamp it in the same fashion. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my basic gray ink pad, get my label, and ink that up. And stamp that right in the middle of my ink pad. If you don't have this Stampin' Pierce mat, your Paper Pumpkin kit comes with a little piece of cardboard. You can stamp on this, and it does give you a little bit of give, so that's a nice surface to stamp on too. so that's all my inking for this card. And step 2, it says, is to punch out our center portion of this piece. Take that U out of there. I don't know if we're going to use this, but if not, I would use this on another card. And then it looks like we're putting tear and tape. It shows us the little tear and tape symbol down either side. And we need to put a couple of dimensionals on the back of our stamped label. So let's go ahead and do that. If you haven't worked with the tear and tape before, it just peels up like this. This side is already sticky, so you lay it down on your surface. And then, as the name implies, it just tears real easily. So you just lay a whole strip of it down. And it's super sticky. And then you can just use your fingernails, or if you have like a little poke tool or a take your pick tool, you're going to pull off this backing paper. It's like a slick little release paper, and then that's going to expose the stickiness on the opposite side of the strip so that we can adhere it to the card. So I've got the stickies on here, and it looks like it's going to lay right over the top of this U. So pretty. Look at that. Awesome. Now, there are a couple of pieces like this that are not adhered because we only put the tape down on the side. So this is where I might grab a little bit of my green glue. If you happen to have other adhesive from another paper pumpkin kit, or even any liquid glue around your house, you can put a little dot of liquid glue under here, or you could put a glue dot from another paper pumpkin kit. I hope you can see what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna put a little dot of it here once I get it running, just because I don't want this to snag and lift up and tear. That's about the only piece I'm really concerned about. So I just put a little dot of glue under there, hold it down, and I'm good to go. All right, pretty. This is pretty already. And then it did tell us to put a couple of mini dimensionals on the back of our Can Do Anything. So to start these, I always just kind of fold this back, and then it pops these edges up so you can grab a couple real easy. When you have a brand new sheet, sometimes it's hard to get to them. So I'm just going to put a couple of those on, peel off my backing paper. And then I always work on some sort of grid surface, whether it is my Stampin' Up! Grid paper or just my grid mat here. And I'm just going to pop that in place. Give that a fold. If you have a bone folder, it does help make a really nice sharp crease there. Stampin' Up! Has these bone folders. And that is a super simple and super pretty card. I could see giving this, oh, I got a little smudge there. My bad. I could see giving this as a graduation card. I love, most of these cards could translate really nicely this time of year for a graduation card, or anybody that you just want to send some encouragement to, but I really like that a lot. As you see here, I've got a little smudge. This is a totally unrelated tip, but I have a sand eraser. This is Tombow Mono sand eraser, and that is a great tool for fixing boo-boos. It just has a little bit of grit to it, and if you ever get a little ink smudge somewhere or a little something where you don't want it, that thing kind of lifts it right up. So that's just a little tip. Handy thing to have in your craft supplies. Okay, that is card number 1. Super simple and super pretty. Love that sweet sorbet. So on the inside, oh gosh, here I'm saying I'm all done and I'm forgetting my finishing touches. let's put our embellishments on and put our pocket inside. Forgetting the important parts. So the embellishments, they are showing Parakeet Party, the Starry Sky, and the Tahitian Tide, and they're sort of sprinkled around the sentiment here. So you can pick these up with your fingers. I find them a little fiddly with my fingers, so that's one way to do it. But if you are all thumbs like me, I do love to use my Take-A-Pick tool. So this Take-A-Pick tool has the putty end here, and man, does that make it easy. So I'm just going to grab the Starry Sky one like this with the putty end of my tool and put that in place. So I think they also have a Tahitian Tide on there. We'll pop that down there. There we go. All right, so now that added just an extra little pop of color. And on the inside, looks like we are going to fold. You can see there's score lines on our little pocket that need to be folded. Just score right along those score lines. I'm going to burnish them with my bone folder just to make them nice and crisp. Just run the bone folder across there. Okay. And then what we need to do is on each of these little flaps, we need to put our tear and tape. So let's go ahead and do that. And it's a perfect width to go on these. They design these things so smart. But the tear and tape fits right on there. Super easy. And while I've got my Take-A-Pick tool, I'll just go ahead and use that to lift my paper. It's so easy to get the release paper off. Oops. There we go. If you find that the sticky part is trying to pull up with your release paper, it just means you need to give it like a really good press so that it's sticking down really nice and tight to your card element. And then pull back that release paper. And now I've got sticky on all three sides. So in the directions, it is telling me to put that right on the inside of the card, but I'm kind of thinking if I want to write on that part of the card, maybe I want it over here or just down low. I think I'm just going to put it, they have it centered. I'm going to put it kind of down low in the corner. There we go. And then this is a nice little pocket, perfectly sized to tuck in a little gift card, or you could fold up some cash or fold up a check and put it in there. So again, that makes it even more perfect to be a graduation card. So you could add a little gift, and you could write your own personal message in here or find another message or combination of messages from in here. Celebrate your day or something like that just for you. That would be great. Okay, now we are really done with our first card. Love it. Let's move on to card number 2. Okay, collect all of our ingredients. So I need the big bright blue banner. This is Tahitian Tide, our new in color. Super pretty bright blue. I'm gonna just pop that out of its backing. And then we need the card base that has the banner shape on it as well. So let me find that in my big pile of supplies. Okay, our blue pocket, our embellishments. We need a straight label for this one. So one of these labels without the flagged end is what it's telling me to do. Just one of those. And our embellishments, tear and tape, I think we have everything. Oh, the happy. This big scripty happy. So we're just gonna pop that right out of the background. And I always just kind of give these a little wiggle. You hold one in one hand and one in the other and wiggle them free. They pop right out. Especially something intricate like this. You do want to be careful not to tear it. Oh, that gold foiling is so pretty with these bright colors. Love it. All right, so there is our happy die cut. Now I do believe we have all of our supplies. So let's flip to our instructions for card number 2, which are right here, card number 2. And it tells us real quick, so it looks like just a few quick steps. First thing is to ink up the stamp that says "You Make Me." Now, keep in mind, when you are doing these, if you have, let's say, you are making a bunch of graduation cards, you may not want to use the phrase that says "You make me happy." You may want to use the phrase that says, you know, "Happy to celebrate your day," or something like that. You might want to change it up, your combinations of sentiments, to work for whatever you need your card for. So, for example, "Happy to celebrate your day," it wouldn't exactly fit right on this card, but you could take any little white scrap from here and just stamp your "To celebrate your day" sentiment and just cut a little rectangle around it and put that on your card instead of this. So there's tons of customization options, even using the same designs. For the sake of my videos, I always like to do one sample exactly how it was designed, just so that you can see how it's meant to go together. So I'm going to stick with what they have. And that is the "You Make Me" brand new stamps. So I'm going to give them a little rub on my fingers or on the back of my hand just to prime them up. And use my basic gray ink pad. Center that right in my little label there. And now I have that part of my sentiment done, and that's it for the stamping. This is actually a really light stamping kit. All right, that's it for stamping. So we'll set that aside. Set our stamping mat aside. And let's see what our next instruction is. Step 2 says to put the tear and tape at the very top of our banner, this blue banner here, and then again right above the top of our of the notch. So let's do that and get our tear and tape. And we're going to put a little line of it across the top and another little line of it right here. Give that a really good press so it's nice and stuck. And then we're going to put that blue banner right inside of this gold banner on the card front. I'm just using the pokey end of my take your pick tool. It's just so handy. Helps so much to get the tape released. So I'm going to center this between my little gold banner edges and put it right up against the top of my card, so it's lined up. And then it's going to fit that blue banner right inside my gold one. How pretty. And you can see these little bits of sparkle, you know, these little, I don't know, splatters of gold sticking out. Then it says they want to put this happy right here across the center, so you can see some of those splatters, and it crosses hanging out over the edges of the banner. If you look at the instructions, they are showing a scissors and the dimensionals cut in half, the little hexagon cut in half. That just means that in some places on the back of this happy, the dimensional might be too fat, so they need it cut in half in order to fit on some of those skinny areas. So we'll go ahead and put dimensionals on the back of that and the back of our little stamped label. And then this, back to our card front, and we're just going to center that right across the front of our card. Super pretty. And our instructions tell us to put dimensionals on the back of our label as well, so we'll do that. This one should fit the full size. Yeah. These are minis, so these fit on almost everything. It's just these really skinny words that you sometimes need to trim them. And then we're going to put this right above, and they have it kind of nestled down here so that the highest part of the H is still higher than this. And I kind of like that the ombre has some horizontal lines there because it helps me line this up and keep it straight. And that is our card front. Now we've just got to put our embellishments on. I won't forget to do that this time. I'm going to go ahead and give my crease a little burnish with my bone folder. Make that nice and sharp. And then I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool again to grab a parakeet party. We've got that up here. And one down here with the starry sky dots. And they put a sweet sorbet dot on there too. And you notice how the designers put things in a triangular fashion like that? That is always a pleasing arrangement. So when you're making cards and designing cards, you'll notice that. You find that pattern a lot. Things tend to be in triangles and in odd numbers. So that is our beautiful card front. And then on the inside of the card, you would take your pocket, fold it, burnish the creases, put your tear and tape on, and create a little gift card or money pocket that would go right inside your card. And again, this could go wherever you want. It could go on this side if you have a lot to say. It could go right in the middle over here. But you saw me do that with the other card, so I'm not going to repeat it, but that would just go right there. And there is your beautiful second card. And a matching envelope to go with it, which is just a beautiful finishing touch. Okay, 2 cards. Let's move on to card number 3. All right, card number 3 is our Orchid Oasis, which is our beautiful purpley blue. Love this new color. And what we're looking for is this one with the kind of crisscrossed ombre pattern and the circle punch out. So I've got that. We also need a plain white card base. Okay, for the card base on this one, remember you've got 2 different white card bases. One has the straight edge, one has this rippled edge. So the rippled edge we're going to save for the card that is Starry Night because you can see it has the same shape on there. So we're going to set that one aside, and we want to choose the card base that has the straight edge. So that's another ingredient. We need our little matching pocket, the Orchid Oasis color, and of course our embellishments, and we need a circle out of our gold foil die cuts that has the U on it. So let's grab that. And then our adhesives, and that's it. So let's jump to our instructions. Card number 3 here. So first thing is the stamping, and it is telling us to stamp just for you. Obviously, here's our gray granite ink. We're going to ink that up and stamp it onto the just for right above the U. So let's get our just for off of our stamp set. Put the other one back. Brand new stamp again, so I'm going to just give that a quick rub on my hands to prime it. I love my Stampin' Pad, so I'm getting my Stampin' Pierce mat out and my gray, basic gray ink. And we're going to put that right above the U so it lines up just like that on our little embellished piece. That's it for the stamping on this one. So I'll close my ink pad up. And it looks like they want us to put tear and tape on the top and the bottom of this piece right here so that it centers in our card front. You know, I think I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Just fold it over and give it a good swipe with my bone folder, because when I center something on the card front, it's easier for me to see it when it's folded rather than trying to judge where that score line is. Okay. I should also mention, if you have other adhesives that you prefer to work with, if you don't want to use the tear and tape for these pieces, any adhesive is just fine. I like that they give you different adhesives in different kits, because then you kind of build a little collection. I would say the tear and tape is really good for the pockets, because those take a little abuse. If you're trying to tuck gift cards into those little pockets, they're going to be pulling a little bit. So that is a nice, strong, sturdy option for that. But for these pieces, you could use your Stampin' Seal just as easily, or if you're a liquid glue type of person, use your green glue, just whatever works for you. They only said to put it across the top and the bottom, but again, just because I don't want these sides to bubble out and snag, I'm going to put a little tear and tape on the sides too. So make sure those are pressed down really good. You can even use your bone folder for that too. And then pick up the release paper, the little backing paper, and peel it back. Super easy with this tool. Can't say it enough. So peel those guys off. And it looks like the way that we orient this on the card is so the opening is down and to the left, and the white spot is at the top. So I just want to center it so that I have an even border all the way around. I find the easiest way to do that is to look so that you've got three, you know, this one, and this one are all centered, which just by default means the bottom one's going to be centered too, so that they're all even and right in the middle of the card. For this one right here, they say to put some dimensionals, so we're going to pop a couple dimensionals on there. Again, if you have a stash of dimensionals, you could certainly use larger dimensionals on this piece because it's a little bit bigger. Again, I kind of like to put it in a triangle so that I don't have any parts of the circle that are sagging down. And then they have that just centered right in the opening here. How pretty that this gold strip, these little pieces kind of draw your eye right to the sentiment. Looks like this piece does not get used, so we can set that aside and use it on some other project. And all we need to do to finish off the front of our card is to add a couple of our pretty little embellishments. Oops, I dropped it. Get off there. Okay, so I added my couple of embellishments. I've got a Sweet Sorbet Parakeet Party and a Starry Sky matte dot. So pretty. And then again, I just don't want to repeat myself too much, but you would take the coordinating Orchid Oasis pocket, fold in on the score lines, put a little tear and tape, and create yourself a little gift card pocket for the inside of the card. Love it. Super cute. And, you know, also, if you don't need a gift card pocket for your card, just don't put it in there and use this for something else. You could cut it, die cut it, put it on a different card. It's another really pretty piece of paper for some other use. You could stamp on it and make it into a little label shape for a sentiment. Lots of choices. So that is that pretty finished card, and its matching envelope just for you. Another great graduation card. And we are cooking. So that is 3 cards down. This set comes together really quickly, which I love. So card number 4, if we look at the ingredients, that's going to be our Starry Sky, which is our darkest blue. And that's the one that has this rippled edge and the gold splatters all over. We're going to go ahead and fold our card base, give that a good burnish. So we need these 2 pieces, the rippled card base and the matching rippled card front piece. And we need the really big Best Wishes. Love this. oh, all I can think of is how pretty this would be if you wanted to color this in. You could use markers or our Stampin' Blends and color inside the lines and make a really pretty sentiment with that. But it looks really pretty just in the white too. So we need that. We need the coordinating pocket in the starry sky, and then our embellishments and our adhesives. So I think that's it for card number 4. Let's flip to the directions for number 4, and it is just telling us to put tear and tape along here. And I think I'll just show you guys. I've got my Stampin' Seal, and if this is easier for you, like I said, if it's just as effective to use seal for these projects. So if you have other adhesives and that's better for you, just use those. They just put the tear and tape in the kit. And then, so I'm gonna line up my rippled edge. Here, I'm gonna get that out of the way. But I'm gonna open this up and I'm gonna line up my rippled edges so they match perfectly. And then if I happen to have a little that goes over the top, I can always trim it, but I just want that to be a perfect match on this end. There we go. Oh, it actually works just great. How pretty is that? All right, so that was my first instruction, was to put the tear and tape all over the back of that. And then for our die cut sentiment, we're going to use dimensionals because you see the little hexagons all over the back. So we will pop the dimensionals, spread them out so that the die cut has good support all over. Peel the little tops off of those guys. And then this just goes right in the middle, kind of framed out by our gold splatters. So again, to get things straight, I really like to work on my grid. It helps me just visually keep things nice and level. Love that. That's so pretty. And all that card needs to finish it off, there's not even any stamping, is just a couple of our classic matte dots, which I'm going to drop there and get up on there. Come on. There you go. And just a little splash of color on there. They've got the Tahitian Tide, the Parakeet Party, and the Sweet Sorbet. So on this one, you could put your gift card holder down in the corner. You could even put it like this and slide it in this way up on the top. So however you would want to add the gift card holder if you want it, but that is a really great, that could be a birthday card, again, a graduation card, any sort of congratulations would be just great for that card. Super, super simple. And the pretty coordinating envelope to go with it. Okay, last card. We are moving through this. I love how simple these are to put together. So card number 5 is going to be our Parakeet Party, our super bright green. So it looks like we need all these pretty strips, and I'm going to pop these guys out. So we need all of those guys. We need the big giant happy die cut with the block letters. So we'll pop that out. Super cute. Then looks like we need the long skinny banner, this one here. We'll be stamping on that guy. And that's it. Adhesives and embellishments. So let's jump to the instructions. Oh, a card base. We need a plain white card base also. A card base with a straight edge, not the ripple. So let's flip to our card number 5 instructions. And step 1 is stamping. So this card says, happy to have you in my life. So this, the to have you in my life, we're going to use that stamp. And that one may need to go diagonally on your block. If you ever try to put it, I have the larger block, it may work square like this. But if something is ever just a little too long, then you can run it diagonally across a block to get a little bit more length. So, and I just always kind of, especially something long, I let it lay out and relax on my table, and then I just pick it up with my block like that. Okay. Use our basic gray ink again. Of course, if you have the new ink colors and you want to switch this up and put, you know, maybe your Starry Sky ink on here or something, you can absolutely mix in other colors for your stamping. It looks like they have this centered right in the middle of this long banner. So I'm just going to do my best to center it like that. Really pretty. Give that a quick wipe and close up my ink pad. Now it looks like we are going to put a piece of tape down each one of these. And how do they have them organized? They've got, let's see. Looks like they're like this. The ones with the splatters are towards the edges. So there's a high splatter out on this side. That splatter, the splatter down at the bottom is here. And then these two do not have splatters. So that's how they have them organized. And then again, you can use the tear and tape that came in the kit, or you can use other adhesive if you like. I'm just going to run a little bit of seal down each of these. Actually, I'm going to start with the middle one. Sometimes when you have a bunch of strips like this and you're trying to get the spacing just right, you can put your middle piece down first, kind of make it so that the top and the bottom border are the same and that it's right in the center of your card. And then you can kind of go out to the edge piece. So put a little seal down. And make sure I have, so I'm kind of making sure my top and bottom are aligned, and then that I have about the same width. Oh, go a little bit lower. So I have about the same width on the side as I do on the top and the bottom. Then I'm going to go to this side, same thing. Maybe I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be, but I guess I'm just trying to get the spacing real nice and even. So now I feel like I kind of have even borders on my edges, even borders across the top, and then I can slide these guys into the middle real easily, and then I've got nice kind of consistent spacing. Maybe that probably is overthinking it, but there we go. And again, they are suggesting that you use your included tear and tape for this, which is just fine also. I just happened to grab my seal. I feel like it goes a little quicker. So, okay. All right, now it is telling us to put our happy just right across the center there, and they are doing it with the tear and tape, so I will do it with seal, which just means I'm not putting any dimension behind it. So just whatever adhesive that you want that's flat. And just kind of looking at my grid lines to keep it somewhat centered and somewhat level. Real pretty. And then their little hexagons here indicate that we want to put some dimensionals behind our long strip. That is a long strip, so they said 3 is enough. I might do 4 just to be extra cautious so that it doesn't snag down. Peel my little papers off. Perfect. Oh, that looks so cute. Okay, now we just need a few little embellishments. And they've just got the blue ones on here, so I think they've got a Tahitian tide that they put like down here. Whoops. There we go. And the Orchid Oasis. And then they have this one like up here right on the letters. That does not want to stick. There we go. They've got that one like right up on the Y, sprinkled right on top of our sentiment. Super pretty. Love it. Okay, and again, you have the option of putting a gift card holder inside, same exact process, folding those in. Love it. And you have the coordinating card or coordinating envelope to go with that card. They have a little stamp that is the little splatters. It kind of mimics the gold foil splatters. So I think I might just add a little bit of that onto my envelopes just for some fun. So you can do this in your gray, or of course, if you have your in colors. And when you do like a random looking stamp like this, I always try to rotate so that it doesn't look too uniform, but you can just have a pretty little splatter like that on the back of your envelope. You could put that on the front of your envelope down below where you would address it if you'd like. You could put it on the inside of your card. Lots of ways that you could customize that. 22. Let's take a look at all of our finished cards. We've got this parakeet party. Happy to have you in my life. We have this beautiful starry sky best wishes. This orchid oasis that says just for you. So cute. Tahitian tide, you make me happy. And our sweet sorbet, you can do anything. I love how bright and beautiful all these cards are, and that you get 10 cards in this kit that look so entirely different. A huge smattering, and you can mix and match the sentiments to play with things and have them read so that they are appropriate for the occasions that you need them for. So I hope you enjoyed this quick look at the latest Paper Pumpkin kit. As I did last month, I am going to take the rest of my supplies, because I really like to make one sample exactly as prescribed, and then I take all the leftover supplies and I mix and match them and maybe throw in a couple of other products from my stash and try to come up with some alternate ideas for you. Just creative ways to use these kits in case these designs don't speak to you, or if you really only want one of each like I do, then you can use the rest of your supplies creatively. Keep in mind also that with every Paper Pumpkin kit, even when you've used up all of the paper materials and the consumable stuff in your kit, you're still going to have your stamp set left over, your block, and your little Stampin' Spot that you can use again and again on future projects. So huge, huge value and lots of fun, this kit, taking a look at all of our new in colors. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you subscribe to my channel and come back and see me again soon. Have a great day.